The contrast could hardly be sharper. Inside Yamaha's 2026 MotoGP campaign, the same struggling machine has produced two entirely different mindsets, and perhaps revealed deeper fault lines within the project itself. On one side stands Jack Miller, defiant and committed. On the other, Fabio Quartararo, increasingly disillusioned and emotionally detached. What is unfolding is not merely a technical struggle, but a psychological and structural test for Yamaha's future. At the heart of the issue lies Yamaha's bold and risky transition to a V4 engine concept for the Yamaha YZR-M1. The post-Jerez MotoGP test evaluation has confirmed what many in the paddock suspected. The project is still in its infancy. With only 6 to 8 months of development, the bike behaves less like a cohesive racing package and more like a collection of incomplete solutions. Miller's assessment is telling. Improvements in one area trigger weaknesses elsewhere. This is a classic symptom of a prototype lacking balance, where gains in engine character may compromise chassis stability or front-end confidence. From a technical standpoint, Yamaha appears caught in a transitional paradox. The V4 architecture promises greater peak power and competitiveness against rivals, yet it fundamentally alters the DNA of a machine long built around inline-4 precision and corner speed. That shift cannot be solved quickly, and certainly not mid-season. For Miller, the situation represents not a failure, but a challenge worth embracing. The Australian's comments reflect a rider who understands development cycles and perhaps thrives within them. His willingness to keep pushing is not blind optimism. It is rooted in experience. Riders like Miller often see value in adversity because it grants influence. In a struggling project, feedback matters more, and a rider can help shape the machine's future direction. There is also a strategic layer to his stance. As a satellite rider with Pramac, Miller's long-term relevance within Yamaha's ecosystem may depend on how indispensable he becomes during this rebuilding phase. Commitment in this context is currency. In stark contrast, Quartararo's tone signals something far more concerning than poor results. When a rider of his caliber, the 2021 MotoGP World Championship winner, admits to lowering expectations to the point of emotional disengagement, the issue transcends machinery. This is about belief. Quartararo's riding style, built on surgical precision, late braking and unwavering front-end trust, is fundamentally incompatible with an unpredictable prototype. Unlike Miller, who can adapt aggressively, Quartararo relies on confidence, and confidence is exactly what the current bike fails to provide. More critically, his remarks suggest a psychological withdrawal. The statement that he no longer feels the urge to give everything is not frustration. It is resignation. For a factory team leader, that is a red flag of the highest order. The situation is further complicated by persistent links between Quartararo and Honda. While not officially confirmed, the speculation is enough to influence perception inside the paddock. If a rider is believed to be heading elsewhere, internal dynamics shift. Engineers may subconsciously prioritize long-term contributors. Communication can become guarded. Trust, the invisible glue of a factory project, begins to erode. For Quartararo, the rumoured move may also explain his detachment. If his future lies beyond Yamaha, enduring short-term pain for long-term gain becomes a less compelling proposition. Yamaha's predicament is not unique in MotoGP history, but the timing is critical. Developing a new engine philosophy while simultaneously managing diverging rider mentalities creates a volatile environment. Miller represents patience and process. Quartararo embodies urgency and expectation. Both perspectives are valid, yet reconciling them is the challenge Yamaha must now confront. The deeper question is this: can Yamaha rebuild not only a competitive motorcycle, but also the unified belief required to win? Because in MotoGP, performance is never just mechanical, it is emotional, psychological, and political. And right now, Yamaha is fighting on all three fronts. What makes this situation even more delicate is the timing within the regulatory cycle. MotoGP's technical landscape is already shifting towards the next era and committing resources to a still immature V4 concept risks, leaving Yamaha caught between two generations. If progress does not accelerate soon, the project could arrive competitive just as the rules evolve again, effectively resetting the entire effort. There is also the question of internal leadership. Historically, Yamaha's strength has been its clarity of direction, a smooth, corner speed-focused philosophy that aligned engineers and riders alike. Now that identity appears blurred. A V4 demands different design priorities, different data interpretation, and crucially, a different type of rider feedback. Without a clear technical North Star, development risks becoming reactive rather than strategic. From a paddock perspective, rival manufacturers are watching closely. Ducati has set the benchmark with a refined V4 package, while KTM and Aprilia continue to evolve aggressively. Yamaha's current struggle is not happening in isolation, it is unfolding while competitors are operating at peak efficiency, widening the performance gap race by race. This widening gap has consequences beyond lap times. In MotoGP, perception influences everything from sponsor confidence to rider market value. A prolonged period at the back of the grid risks redefining Yamaha not as a rebuilding giant, but as a team in decline. That narrative, once established, can be difficult to reverse, even when performance eventually improves. For Miller, however, this environment may actually enhance his role within the project. His adaptability and willingness to ride around problems make him a valuable reference point for engineers. In many ways, he becomes a bridge between raw prototype behavior and usable race performance. That kind of contribution is rarely visible on timing sheets, but it can shape the trajectory of an entire program. Quartararo's situation is more complex. As a former champion, his expectations are calibrated to winning, not development compromises. The longer he remains disconnected from the front, the harder it becomes to maintain the intensity required at this level. MotoGP is unforgiving in that sense. Even a slight drop in motivation can translate into significant performance deficits on track.